What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dosh, coming back to you for real takes. It's that time, you guys. It is movie news time. There's a couple of things I'm excited to discuss, some things that were, of course, brought to my attention that I want to discuss, and then a couple of things that are not movie related that I definitely want to discuss that I'm excited about. So, with that said, let's jump right into it. Now, the first order of business I want to discuss is all things James Bond. Now, you already know, the last couple of months I've talked about Bond 25, which will be the fifth installment that has attached in regards to James Bond with Daniel Craig being involved. Now, you all know they went through a couple of changes. We had a different director, Danny Boyle, and he was at the helm. Due to some creative differences, of course, he stepped down, and now we have Cary Fukunaga. Excuse me, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I'm excited for him because I'm a fan of his work. I know he was the writer on It. He's also was directing the first season of True Detective. You see how I said the first season? Second season was garbage. Also being attached to Beats of No Nation. I love that. And just, you know, I love what he's doing. Plus, he's actually did work on the series directing for the show Maniac. So with Emma Stone, excuse me, and Jonah Hill. So I'm actually happy with a lot of the work he's done over the years that I actually have watched. So I feel like they are in good hands. Now, the only thing I'm kind of wondering what's going on is with the script. The script, they are still in developing. Getting a little worried about that, but not so much so that I feel like they won't have something great for us. This doesn't come out until February of 2020, but now word is out that there's somebody who's possibly be considered for the villain, and that is Rami Malek. Now, I'm excited about that because I'm definitely a fan of him. It has nothing to do with just because he's just recently done the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. I've been a fan of him from the show Mr. Robot. He does an awesome job playing a very dark character on there, and of course he's done other movies over the course as well. He's working his way up outside. I think he won, did he win I think he did win I think a Golden Globe for Mr. Robert. So I'm actually happy for him because it's like all of a sudden now he's getting a little bit more notoriety, and with Bohemian Rhapsody being nominated for a Golden Globe, more so for him, that's opening some more doors for him. So I'm happy about that. Now, is the villain aspect, since he plays a very dark character on Mr. Robot, I can see, that being a possibility depending on how the storyline supports it pertain. Now, from what I had heard when Danny Boyle was attached, he was considering someone else. The guy's name, and I had to pronounce his last name. His first name, he was actually in Wonder Woman, the original one with Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. His name is Said Tag Mayahi. I might be saying his name incorrectly. My apologies, guys. It is a mouthful. But I also know that the powers that be with the Bond franchise wanted to keep possibly Christopher Waltz in the arc in regards to him in Spectra, playing, the character he was playing, Blofeld. So Blofeld, excuse me. I'm not sure if that would have been a good thing. I really didn't like Spectra so much so. Skyfall was excellent. So when they did Spectra, I was all hyped, whatever, but it didn't do anything for me per se, whichever. Some other people might like it, to each his own, but it just didn't. I mean, the way the storyline was told, about him being attached, having some sort of, past with, Bond, whatever, and all that, just the way it was flushed out, I just did not care for it in that aspect, whatever. But other than that, I'm not worried about this. I just really hope the storyline is really, really good because of the fact that this is the last one that Daniel Craig will be attached to, and him going out on a good note with his, part of the franchise being attached to Bond would be very nice. Now, I did hear that Léa Seydoux is going to be back playing Madeline Swan, so I'm actually happy to see her back, and from being she was in Spectra, so that should be nice. I want to see in what aspect of what she'll be doing in this one, so to speak, from how she was in this in the previous one, Spectra. So it's just a lot going on, but I'm really, really getting excited for the potential. But again, really wanting to see what the overall storyline will be, how they're going to tell this particular story, since the last one wasn't a fan favorite for me per se, but I'm a fan of the Bond franchise, so that's not going to stop me from going. I'm going to do that because ever since Casino Royale, I've been following Daniel Craig doing Bond. A lot of people were not feeling him when he first did it, but when that came out, that changed a lot of people's minds, and then he stepped up to the plate. Quantum Solace, didn't really like that one, but like I said, Skyfall made it for that, and then Spectre, So let's hope this fifth and final one does the trick. And then, I might even consider getting his in a box set when they all come out. That would be nice or whatever. So I just want to kind of throw it out, you guys. But like I said, it's supposed to come out in February of 2020, and the date is February 14th. That falls on Valentine's. Do you see a lot of guys taking their girls to see that? It's a win-win. Yeah. I doubt that seriously, but I know I will be going to see that when that comes out. So, but with that, moving on from that. Now, this one was brought to my attention about a week ago. There was a lot going on in the last week, whichever, that I didn't have to get a chance to discuss it, but I definitely feel like it definitely deserves to be brought up, and I'm kind of glad to bring it up now. This is a Marvel movie that's being developed, and this is going to be considered, like I want to note, the first ever blockbuster Asian superhero movie. This is supposed to be for Shang-Chi. Now, I was told this by a friend who I talk with about all things, movies or whatever, and I'm actually excited to hear that this is actually in development. Now, this is really interesting because from what I was hearing prior, when they were doing the lineup for the 10 movies, whatever, that would be coming out through Marvel, this was discussed at the time to come out when they were doing the overall development of all the movies in line back in 2005. So here we are 13 years later, I'm kind of glad they're mixing it up a little bit, and I think they want to kind of go the way they did with Black Panther with this particular era in regards to this being all about, so to speak, Asian superheroes, so to speak. Now, I wanted to note like this. This was created back in 1973, before my time. I'm still a 70s child, but it was a couple of years before. And it says Shang Li is the son of Fu Manchu, and it was molded by his father to be a living weapon. It says, however, after being sent upon his first mission to assassinate an elderly man sleeping in his bed, Shang-Chi became disillusioned about his father's supposed goodness and nobility and ultimately turned against him. That is very intriguing to me, the overall arc and storyline of that, because the way they're kind of setting this up is a possibility. Of course, he's going to deal with that probably within the first movie, and there can possibly be a second or even a third. So the potential is there. Now, I'm hearing the writer who's coming on board to be at the helm to at least write this. They do not have a director as of yet, but the writing part, I'm very happy with how they're going about it. His name is Dave Callahan. Now, he actually is writing Wonder Woman 1984. He actually had a part in doing 2014's Godzilla and also The Expendables. So right there, that gives me a definitely stamp of approval for me feeling very confident that he's going to come up with a great actual script and storyline for this one. Now, like I said, we don't have a director. I'm actually excited to see who they'll be. And from what I'm hearing, they're wanting to make sure this is like a nice little bit of Asian art, Asian American themed in this particular movie. They want to have a writer who is, of course, he being Chinese American, but an Asian, and of course an Asian director. And I'm hoping they do just that. Please do that. I like how they did, let's just be honest, how they did with Black Panther, the way they did that. And if they're going to go this route, please keep it as close to factual, true, with the people behind the scenes, with the writing, and definitely with the directing, whichever. When I think about how they made the wrong choice and they tried to, come back, whatever, and all that, is to make it seem like it was okay with the decision they made. When they did Doctor Strange and they had Tilda Swinton play the Ancient One, that was just not good. And it was sad how they tried to come back and, try to make themselves feel like, they made the right decision. No, you did not. And that's why you got the backlash you got. So learn from that. And hopefully with this one will be better. And I'm hoping it is, because the potential is there. Now, first and foremost, I'm curious to know who they want to consider to play the lead. That is going to be a major coup to find out. That casting going out for that is going to be something to behold. I have somebody in mind. I might put his picture up because for some reason my mind just went blank with his name. But if I find his photo, I'm going to post it up here, whichever. I could be off, whichever. But I'm just going to throw out there. And if any of you all who normally watch these, comment below and let me know what you all think of a possibility. But there's so many people they can probably consider. I can only imagine how that room's going to look when they start going through all the different castings for this particular character. But this is going to be one that a lot of individuals probably will be vying for, so. And then the overall casting, supporting roles and all that should be wonderful. Now, like I said, it's just in the beginning stages. We do not have a director, just a writer on board to definitely do a great script. Also, not having a kind of like a blocked out window of when they consider this to come out for like a possible release date. if they're putting this in discussions now, I want to think either a 2020 or maybe push back to a 2021. So if we already waited and this was in a considered lineup back in 2005, a year or two more is not going to, change the fact. But just to know that this is moving forward, that's exciting to me, and I'm actually excited to see this. And I'm looking forward to learning more about this particular character within the comics. So also one thing I did hear with this particular comics, and back in those days in the 70s, whatever, some of the comics had a lot of different, type of stereotypes, that they like to do certain things, and a lot of racial slurs, whatever. From what I'm hearing, they're going to modernize this more so they can avoid that type of stereotype, so going into the new era of this, we can avoid that, which I find to be really good. And I'm actually happy to hear that they decided to do that, because there's no reason for that to be in it, and I really don't want to see all that. Did not understand that was the premise of some of the comics when they would do certain things like that in those comic books at that time, whatever, and all that. But I like that they're kind of seeing that they might want to get away from that and then move forward, whatever, with a little bit better understanding of what not to do, as you all will call it, being as more PC. But it is what it is. So like I said, you guys, once I know more about whoever's coming want to direct, and the people considering a couple of different options of the actual lead for whatever, when I know, you all will know too. So, but moving forward, you guys, I'm looking forward to that one. That sounds like it's going to be awesome. Speaking of another comic book led superhero, Shazam. Now we're hearing that they actually have put out a new poster for that. Of course, this one's starring Zachary Levi. I'm excited. Him playing the character. What is it? Billy Baston. I'm excited for this. I know a lot of people, and I talked to a colleague of mine, whatever, who's all about his comics, whatever, and all. He's not really excited or hyped or whatever and all that, for this particular one. He's looking forward to some other things that definitely are coming out going into 2019, and there's nothing wrong with that. When I saw the trailer, I actually enjoyed it. I'm a little biased because I am a fan of Zachary Levi, but I thought what he did for what he's working with, the potential is there, whatever. And a lot of people that I watched who did a reaction actually enjoyed it as well. Now I have to keep in mind when I'm looking at this, he's not an actual adult. He is, an individual who has these superpowers, who actually has a mind, a soul, a body of a child that's in a grown body. So I have to keep that in mind watching this, that it's going to be, that's kind of how the story unfolds. Him, coming to terms with, these abilities, whatever, just for, being able to say the name at will, whatever, and turning into the superhero, whatever. And over the course, of the movie, hopefully he'll learn some things and all that. But still a child within this adult body. So depending on how good this movie does, honestly, the potential as he grows and grooms himself and learns more, whatever, that he can become a little bit more adult in how to deal with certain things as he gets used to his powers, knowing right from wrong, making the right decision, if he's helping someone, whatever, dealing with the bad guy, the villain, whatever. You all remember we had talked about Jumanji Hansu being in this, of course, playing the wizard. We also have Mark Strong playing, Dr. Thaddeus Savannah. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the cast in this. Digimon Hansu is definitely a busy man, because of course you all know he's also in Aquaman, so seems to be in 2 different DC movies, and also he's doing his thing. I'm excited to see him in this, as well as Aquaman coming out before Shazam, so that should be nice. But I'm looking forward to this. I know I'm looking forward to when this trailer is going to drop. I know they're stating it should be coming soon. I don't know if it's in the next week or two, maybe definitely prior, before Christmas, we'll see something, or maybe at the end after the holidays, or right around the holidays. We don't know, because the movie does come out in April, and the date April 5th to be exact. So I'm actually excited to see what they're going to show. The last one we saw was kind of like more like a teaser trailer. It was like a little over a minute or so, minute and a half at the most, whatever. So this one probably be a little bit longer, might showcase a little bit more. I know some people had an issue with his overall physicality, the way it looks so not realistic with the bulge and arms, whatever, and all that. Like, it was a little bit too much extra enhancement, whatever. We'll see if they tweak that a little bit, whatever. But I like a little bit of the funny aspect of it. Of course, we might get a little bit of seriousness when the, and tendencies of whatever he's going to be dealing with whatever character, definitely the doctor in the movie played by Mark Strong. We'll see that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it, and I like how they're trying to do this thing where they're trying to give you a little bit of funny with the dark. So, and I don't mind that. It's mixed up a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Unless people, when they think of DCE, they always want to think everything has to be dark, whatever, and all that, and that should not be the case. So hopefully, a lot of people will go out and support it, whichever. and then see where it goes from there. You know, probably definitely could do well at the theater, so we'll see. So, but moving on. Now this one I know nothing about, but I was intrigued when I saw that this has come up as being, you know, impossible in development to actually happen. And this is another DC film that's being considered, and it's called The Plastic Man. I know nothing about this. I was totally caught off guard because I'm like, what is this? Never heard of it. And that's okay, because I like to learn about different comics I know nothing about as I get used to, you know, seeing them, learning more about them, whatever and all, and being a little bit more aware, you know, what's out there, whichever and all. There's nothing wrong with doing some good old research. So, but this one, I'm actually interested in learning a little bit more. Like I said, we don't have a director for this one, but they do have somebody who's been pinned to write the script for this. Her name is Amanda Idoko. Excuse me, Idoko. I had to get that right because that is a mouthful for me. I'm excited for her. She is in the midst of working on a pre-production for another movie that's starring Laura Dern, Allison Janney, and also the director of The Help, Taylor. So that's some good, you know, company right there. So I feel like they must feel very confident to bring her into, you know, the DCEU sphere to do a good job at writing this film. Don't know too much about her per se, but I said she's now going to be on my radar, so I'm going to, you know, take some steps to learn a little bit more about her. Now, I wanted to read the premise of this because since I wasn't familiar with this, I wanted to know. Now, this comic was created back in 1941, and it states, Plastic Man revolved around a crook named Patrick Eel O'Brien, who acquired his superpowers during a botched heist when he was doused with a mysterious liquid that left him with the ability to stretch his body into any shape, which I think is really different. That's interesting. Now, I feel like we're going to definitely get a comic flair from this. Not too much of a drama, maybe a little drama, but definitely comedic timing. Off the bat, I'm trying to think who would play this. I have a couple of different comedian or people in mind, so we'll have to see who they're going to tap to be considered, or the different options of individuals who could play this particular character. Because, like I said, I don't think a lot of people have this particular one as rare, but I know a lot of people who are involved with comics or do comics, whatever. I heard it has a nice little following, so a lot of people are familiar with Plastic Man, so that's going to definitely put it out there. I know some people are probably like, oh, I don't know what DC's really doing, and like I said, with the original one that I said before with Shazam, I like a little bit of dark, and I don't mind a little bit of fun. So funny or fun, however you want to mix it together, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. We have plenty of things coming out. It's going to be very dark at times. Of course, like I said, we definitely got Aquaman with a little fun. We're going to definitely have a little bit of drama with that and action. Then, of course, we have other movies, like, of course, like you said, Shazam. We have Birds of Prey. I doubt there's going to be a lot of funny there. Maybe a couple little comments here and there, but definitely more dark, more of a suspense, whatever. Of course, you have Wonder Woman. We have Joker. That's going to be the dark aspect. So I feel like it's room for, it's balance. We can have a little balance of all. You know, Marvel definitely does a little bit of funny in between a lot of some of their stuff, you know, that they put out. But they have a lot of stuff that is definitely drama and not so dark, but dark enough, whatever, with the dark tone, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like, you know, it's room for everything. You know, if you don't like it, you don't have to go see it. Nothing wrong with that, whatever. But somebody else says, yeah, I want to see something a little different, you know, from DCU. Here you go. So I'm excited for this. This looks like this is going to be very interesting. Like I said, no director's been helmed yet, just in the beginning stages. Definitely considering the script. Looking forward to seeing who will become the director. That will speak volumes about exactly how the director's previous work, you know, plays and how they feel like they can do this particular film. So I know they're going to hopefully take their time finding someone for this. Definitely going to keep my eyes open on this one, because when I found out the Plastic Man, already my interest peaked a little bit. So I'm definitely going to keep up with this one. So again, like I say, when I know more, you guys will know more. So, but moving on from that. Now this one, I am kind of excited for the prospect, you know, but it's probably the nostalgia for me because of the show that I used to like, and this is all about 21 Jump Street. Now, the word is out that they're trying to, Sony's trying to do a female-led 21 Jump Street, and the people they're eyeing to do is my girl Tiffany Haddish and Awkwafina. I love both these ladies. They're doing big things. They have had a great almost year and a half, 2 years of being out, you know, doing their thing. And I see the potential there off the bat with these two being the two female core leads of this movie. Now you already know how Tiffany's been doing it. She was a standout when she did Girls Trip. She has been going full throttle. Of course, had a comedy, had a couple of comedy series, has a comedy, stuff coming up. She's also done movies like Nobody's Fool. She did Night School with Kevin Hart. She's actually going to be a part of the Lego Man, movie part 2. I think she's coming on to do the Secret Lives of Pets, whatever, as well. Awkwafina did, of course, Ocean's 8. She's doing her thing. She did was a Crazy Rich Asians. So, and I think she's up for possibly a role in Jumanji 3. So the ladies are working. I'm excited for them. It's awesome. Now, when I say I'm nostalgic, I'm slightly biased as well because I loved 21 Jump Street growing up. That was my show. And actually, that was the show that introduced me to all things Johnny Depp. And after that, I was already a fan anyway. He did, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street, but then he did that, did this show, and it was just like, of course the girls were swooning over him. He had, he was on those, those magazines you put up in your locker. I mean, oh my God. And then Holly Robinson Pete, of course, it's a great star-studded cast for that show. I love the whole casting, whatever. Richard Grieco. So needless to say, I know they did, of course, when they came back and did a movie for it where they had Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, and then they came back and did 22 Jump Street, whichever, and all that, and so a couple people did a couple of cameos and all that, showing homage, whatever, and all that. But I'm gonna tell you, nothing like the show. I'm all about the show. There's nothing wrong with Channing and Jonah, but I'm about the show. But I'm gonna tell you like this. Okay, you all gonna come back and do what, a 23 Jump Street, and it's gonna be a female-led one. We'll have to see how this turns out. Secondly, I'm not seeing who they're noting for a director yet. We don't have that as well. I want to note that we don't see anybody listed for a director. So I'm looking forward to seeing who will come on board to do that. Like I always say, that does always play a part, who's directing it, because you get an idea for their style of directing from previous films. That plays a key role for me. Secondly, who is definitely going to be writing the script of how it is, because from what they're saying, and let me note this, they're saying, according to the idea for the substance, they said Haddish's character is a cop who goes undercover as a high schooler teacher, and with her partner masquerading as a student, which is going to be played by Awkwafina, as mentioned, is said to be the top pick for that latter role, is playing that part. So that will be interesting if they do it like that. She'll be like the student in the class to get close to some of the kids, whatever, finding whatever's going on within the school, corrupt or whatever, and of course she'll be the teacher, whatever. That should be very interesting. I like that because she already has that teacher part aspect down pat, that she can play that part definitely to go in and being the cop because of her being in the movie Night School. So that works, whatever. But I would love to see Awkwafina, blending in with the high school students and all that, whatever. And she does have that faithful young youth look that she could pass, honestly, probably for a high schooler. So yeah, I think they might have a winner with that. So she's not confirmed she's on board, whatever and all. They're in a bit of a talk. So hopefully in the coming weeks we'll know more. Now, as well as knowing, they're stating maybe a 2020. They're not giving us actually, if this is going to come out 2019 or whatever, maybe early 2020, maybe January, February. That would be nice. I hope so. I'm looking forward to seeing if this becomes, a go ahead for another movie to add under both the ladies' belts, and I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more information about this, whichever and all that. But like I said, still love the TV show more. So, but moving on from that. Now, this is a reboot that I have talked about for the last couple of months, really going into earlier in the year, spring, whatever, that Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson work on, and that is Men in Black, the reboot. Now, we are getting more information about that. They're stating they now have a full title for it. And the title for this now will be called Men in Black International. And I kind of like the way that flows. That sounds good. I know they want to distinguish themselves from the original movies that starred, of course, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. I'm looking forward to seeing these two come together again. You already know they were in Thor Ragnarok and they were hilarious. Tessa Thompson was hilarious in this. I loved the banter with her and Chris Hemsworth, but also the banter between her and the Hulk. So I'm looking forward to seeing them come together, whichever. And that's really interesting how they did that movie, and the powers that be were coming together, decided that they liked it so much that they're like, okay, they can do another movie together so soon after they did Thor 3. So I like that, whichever. So, both of them are hilarious in all their movies separately. So seeing them come together again is going to be awesome. I've already talked about Emma Thompson coming back as Agent O. We already know about Rafe Spall being attached to this. We also know Liam Neeson's in this. And also Rebecca Ferguson, whose character is still undisclosed. I would think we would know something. So she must play an integral part. I feel like she's probably a main villain, but we just don't know who the main villain, the character is really going to be about, the name or anything. And I'm hoping that's what it is, because I find it really interesting how we know about the other characters. I mean, even Liam Neeson and what, in regards to this movie, but nothing about Rebecca. That's really strange to me. Till this day, we still don't know what she's doing in this particular movie. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly her part. I'm planning to see this. So I love the original ones with Will Smith when they did all three of them, whichever. They did very well at the box office. They were hilarious. The first one will always be my favorite. The second and third one were okay, but the first one was just classic the way it was done. I loved it. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. Now, the date for this is June 14th, 2019. So, like I said, we have a lot of stuff coming out in 2019. It is jam-packed, and I'm going to be here to see this. I'm looking forward to this particular one. I can't wait to see when they're planning to showcase a trailer. I think January, February, we'll probably get maybe a little teaser trailer for this, whichever, to get us kind of revved up, because they're going to have to show a good teaser for this, because they're doing a reboot, and I'm all for the reboots. It is what it is. It's nothing for me to get around, but I just want them to really know that when you're dealing with all these remakes and reboots with them and all that, you got to make them really exciting, whatever, because it's not like I want to keep coming out here spending my money for another reboot or remake, whatever, and then it is fall, lackluster. So I'm hoping this one is good. The two lead characters, I feel like it's going to be good. Chris Hemsworth can do drama, action, comedy, so I have faith. I'm just going to have faith and just move on from that. So, moving on, you guys. Now, this is another reboot that I really don't feel like they should be doing right now, but the powers that be feel the need to go ahead and start this one back up after the last one just came out in 2016, and that is Resident Evil. Now, I'm all for Resident Evil because I love me some Milla Jovovich. I'm a fan of her and her being attached, of course, to the franchise since day one. And if I'm not mistaken, the first one came out, was it 2000? Did I write that? 2002. So over the course of the many years, we started the franchise with it all, and here we are 16 years later, and now they're talking about resurgence. I know they're going to kind of make this more so going the way of the video games aspect. So I know a lot of people who probably play them will probably, be happy about that and respect it for the fact they're going to do that. That's fine. I just don't know how I feel. I'm like, the last one just ended. It made like a little over 300 million. Like I said, it's 2016. And I think overall the franchise altogether, the series franchise made a little over 2 or $3 billion in total. So they did very well. I'm like, why feel the need to start so soon? But here, I decided to note an example as to see the potential of what they're probably trying to do. You all remember Spider-Man, whatever, we had Tobey Maguire. A lot of people, have a little soft spot for him playing the three that he did. Then you all saw what happened over in, 2012, when they decided to do a resurgence of it, and they decided to bring in, Andrew Garfield, and he did the first one, and then he came back 2 years later and did one in 2014. I actually enjoyed him doing them. I thought he did a great job. He was very funny. I like his little, his charismatic, the way he carries himself, whatever, and very, the comedic timing, whatever, was really good in the movie, whatever. Definitely couldn't play a high schooler to me, because when I look at him, he's definitely over 20, whatever, and all, but it is what it is. He worked with what he had. The first one was pretty decent. The second one, a lot of people, Then they decided to come out in 2017, of course, you see, with, Spider-Man Homecoming, and they found the perfect fit for Spider-Man, and as Tom Holland, he's doing a great job. I'm here for it, and of course, here we are now. So I'm feeling like, okay, you get the right director, and I think the director they're stating is going to be a part of this is going to be the director from 47 Meters Down, and his name is Johannes Roberts, and that's fine. I'm here for him because that was a good movie. It's all going to pan out how that script is, because with the potential of them wanting to do multiple films. They don't want to just do one. I know if they're trying to revamp this, they want to do multiples, like they want to do like they're doing with Spider-Man. That's why I chose to use him as an example. Secondly, who is going to be the lead? That plays a part too, because I'm going to tell you like this, Milla did a fabulous job playing this character with her, and she is straight ass a badass. Excuse my language. I'm just stating the obvious. So that's going to be, hopefully they'll take their time trying to find whoever's the lead, because this is going to be one of those ones we have to find somebody who has the overall physical, the endurance, the physicality, all that to play this, because a lot of that goes into that, Milla talks about it. I follow her on social media, the stuff that she's going through. She's, of course, working on that movie Monster House. So you can imagine you got to have the build, the body, and the endurance to deal with all those, the training, the fight sequences. And if this person's coming on board, I figured they're going to probably sign up to probably possibly potential doing 2 or 3 of them. Knowing them, they would probably try to go past that. So we'll have to see. I just don't know. I just don't know. Like I said, I'm cool with the director. He's definitely going to probably be the one that's going to probably write the script as well. That will be interesting. And then secondly, who is going to be the lead? That all that plays a part. So once we know that part, that'll let me know if I feel like I'm going to be able to come on board to want to see this. And then if the person looks like, okay, there's potential there, that first tease or whatever trailer they put out better be on point, because trust and believe me, that's going to tell the story as well, since we're starting all over again. So I still like the original ones with Milla. I still watch them when they come on, to this day. I just recently watched the final chapter to it just like a week or so ago online. So, we'll see how that goes out. I just know how to feel about that, but I'm keeping an open mind with that. So, okay. But moving on, you guys. So, this is one movie that I'm looking forward to seeing. And this is the last in the franchise for Rambo, and that's Rambo 5. Word is out that it's finally finished wrapping filming. I'm excited. I just love me some Sylvester Stallone. I have been following him since, what was the first movie I saw? Even though I was already a young child and this had already came out well before I was even born, of course the Rocky films, but I will tell you, one of the first ones I did see, it was between this one, it was Rambo First Blood and also Cobra. And after that, I was a fan instantly. I love me some Sylvester Stallone. He could not do no wrong. I just love everything that he's in. There's nothing really, honestly, I can say that I hate that he's ever been in, honestly. And I'm looking forward to seeing this last part that he's attached to, because I know he will now be putting his knife down, so to speak, just like he put his gloves down with, dealing with Rocky, and then from what we're hearing about Creed. But yes, this one is going to be interesting. Of course, I talked about the overall premise of the storyline. I want to note that again. Of course, him being a legendary soldier, living a quiet life now, because if you remember the last one, he moved to back to the States with him and all, wearing a cowboy hat. I showcased the picture in previous movie news update. It says he's back in his hometown when a friend's daughter is kidnapped, kind of, part, of some sort of, cartel, where they, take the girls, and put them on a little black market, he says, by a vicious cartel. So he heads to Mexico to go and save her. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing how that whole story is going to be a lot of action, a lot of killings. It's going to be all that we all probably encompass that we love, in regards to all things Rambo. And I am totally here for that. Now, I know they'd said that, I remember hearing a while back how he wasn't too fond of the movie. He felt that the movie, when he did the first one, was cursed. How that the movie had a full 3-hour cut, and he watched it and he didn't like it. He was trying to buy it back from the producers, but of course, calm heads prevail, and it did come out whatever, because he was coming off of the success of Rocky, and he wasn't doing really well with a lot of movies outside of Rocky. So he was trying to, in some ways, not get pigeonholed with the Rocky franchise, want to do some other things so everybody can see him and doing other things, whatever. And that's always an actor's, worst fear. You don't want to be just typecast into one thing. You want to show that you can showcase, your credentials in acting and all things, action, comedy, whatever. And when it came out, it did very well. And here we are, Rambo 5 later. So I'm glad that they did not cut it. He didn't keep it and didn't pay for him, and they just did not listen to him at all, because I like them. I like definitely the first one, and I love the second one. The other ones were okay, whichever. No, those two are my favorite, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with this. And I'm going to tell you, this is one of those ones that I feel like once this comes out and it's out on DVD, I'm definitely going to I hope they do a box set. I'm going to buy this, because I do love these from the franchise. These are one of those ones, besides his, Rocky one, that I love to watch. When it just happens to be on, if there's honestly nothing on, I'll just watch it. And if something's on, I'll watch it anyway, because I know I'm going to be entertained. And that's one thing about Sylvester Stallone all these years, decades later, since really the 70s, he wants you to be entertained. And when he does these particular movies, you're getting your money's worth. And I feel like we're going to get just that in this last and final story arc with Rambo. So I'm looking forward to it, you guys. We don't have the date. I don't have that still, whatever, for Rambo 5, The Last Blood. So once I know the exact date, I think this might be, is this 019 if I'm not mistaken? I think they said, I know I might have discussed the date. I don't think I did. I would have noted that, whatever. So no. So like I was saying, if I have more an update on the date, whatever, I might just throw that as a quick little shout out in regards to the movie. So, but moving on, you guys. So moving past that, Now this is one that I'm looking forward to in another trilogy of sorts, whatever, since I just talked about Rambo. And this has to do with Bad Boys 3. Bad Boys 3 for life. Now, I heard that Captain Howard is coming back, and that is by our guy Joe Manganiello. I'm excited because he's going to be back, you know, being captain of the, Miami Police Department. I'm just so happy they're making this movie. We have waited long enough, and I said it a couple weeks ago when I was discussing how Will and Martin did a quick little video on Instagram, how I talking about, you know, y'all ain't ready for this, you know, we here, we back, whatever, and all that. Him and Martin was smiling up a storm, whatever. I'm just glad that we're seeing some of the original cast is coming back, and I love that Joe is willing to do it, and he's able to do it, and his timeline and schedule is free to do it, because I said the more people that come back from the original, the better. You just know it's going to be. So it's just nostalgia purposes. And I said prior to this movie coming out, I'm going to watch both of them probably the week I go see it, just to get my mind right for it. So I'm excited for that. Also, I'm wondering, by any chance, will we see Gabrielle Union coming back as Sid? You know, of course, Martin's sister from the original one, and of course the character that was dating Will Smith's character, you know, trying to be all hush hush. That would be nice. I said that before when I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm hoping that she might be, and it's just that we haven't heard anything. So this information with Joe coming out makes me excited at the possibilities that she might. So I'm praying that Gabrielle Union comes back. I'm hoping either she's, you know, of course, working whatever and all that. She might be doing her own thing, or, you know, they might be still a couple together. That's a possibility too. You know, just something to add to the story, whatever, with him outside of him being a cop. That would be nice. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But yes, they're stating that the filming starts next month, supposed to be January, and the date is for January 17th, 2020 for the date. And let me tell you, a lot of people are like, oh, they didn't pick another date. There's nothing wrong with that. I discussed this a while back, how a lot of people always want certain movies they feel like are blockbusters to be at a certain time of the year, mostly of them around the holidays, for certain holidays, be 4th of July, Memorial Day, whatever. It doesn't have to always be like that. And honestly, I'm glad a lot of these companies, you know, movie exec companies, are changing their tune with that. Now, I know other movies, like, say for instance, I've talked about like Split, Logan not coming out, you know, May, June, July, August, September, or even around Christmas time, holidays, whatever. It doesn't have to be like that anymore, and I'm hoping they're doing it. And I think with them doing it like this is actually a good thing, because that means they're gonna make a rack of money. I know there, you know, what is it, February, Birds of Prey comes on 2020, and I think some other stuff is coming out, but that's definitely one. By that time, it'll make some good money, but this bad boy is going to make some good money for a good couple of weeks, whichever. So I'm glad they chose that to be the month, you know, that they're going to do it for, the month and year, whatever. So I'm excited for that. So, but yes, you guys, I'm so excited. I'm here for this. I cannot wait to see my Bad Boys 3. I want my box set. I want my box set. I'm cheesy. I don't care. I can't wait for this so I can get my full box set with all three of them. So again, I just had to do that. Get that out, my little fandom for that movie, whatever and all that, because this was one of my favorite movies by both Will and Martin. So yes, so moving from the movie stuff, you guys, I said I was going to talk about some stuff that's television led, whatever, and it's dealing with Netflix, and there's two different things for Netflix I'm excited for. But let's just go ahead and go there, because this is the thing I'm noticing. Netflix is pushing out some good content, and now they're switching up their content by adding some anime, and I'm actually excited because this is two of them that I'm intrigued to. One of them I'm more excited than the other, but I'm here for anything anime because I do love it. Now, the first one I'm going to discuss is the one I'm most excited about, and that is Cowboy Bebop. Now, I'm excited for this one. I'm like, yes. I loved this when it came out back in the late 90s. I used to watch this when it would come on late at night, whichever, and I just loved just all things about it. They didn't do too many episodes. It was probably like, somewhere like between, I think somewhere between 25 and 30 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. So after that, I didn't see it, because after a while you get to see the episodes, you're like, okay, I've already seen that one. So I was just like, okay, they're not renewing, whatever and all. I was kind of bummed about that. So to hear that we're about to get a series for this, I'm excited about this. Now, they're saying for the first season it's going to be 10 episodes. I like that. That's a nice amount. That's awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I can't say it enough. I'm actually excited because Netflix, I don't know what it is, but just like they just seem to be on par with what they're trying to put out in regards to their content. They're trying to expand their library, and they're doing really a good job. They're kind of upset me with the way they did some of these things like possibly Daredevil, of course, hearing about that, and then hearing about Luke Cage, none too happy about that. Of course, Iron Fist, now we're just basically waiting because I feel like it's inevitable what's going to happen with Jessica Jones and the Punisher. But of course, from what I heard for that is the fact that they finished wrapping up those seasons, so they're going. It's too much more money for them to get rid of it, so they're going to showcase that next year. So we're going to see both those 2 seasons that are being finished. But I think Punisher's finished, and I think Jessica Jones was still in filming, so they're just about to wrap up their season. So but I'm just like, really? I mean, they're good, and then I know some people were up in arms about them getting ready to get rid of the Friends seasons, online, whatever and all. And they got barked at, so they decided to have it go all the way through the end of 2019. So yeah, some decisions they might not like, but they won't, make a big fuss. But that Friends one, I see that held a lot of water there. I'm a fan of Friends, so whatever. I have them on DVD. I have the full box set, so I can understand the love of it, whichever and all that. But yes, this is awesome to me. I'm excited about this fully. It says the series has been in the works since last year and has now been given a green light with Netflix. So yes, I didn't realize they were in discussions with this. So to know that they actually have been talking about this just to add on extra different types of content, so everyone is happy with everything. You have your TV shows, you have your movies. We have some, new TV show developments, not always stuff that's just already been made or whatever. I love that. I love original films that they've been putting on there. Yeah, I mean, you just really can't go wrong. I'm subscribed to them. I pay that monthly fee. I know I'm getting my money's worth, and I have many options. I love that I have many things to choose from with Netflix. Kudos to them for that. So, but moving from that one that I said, this one being the one I'm excited for. This one, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not too happy, whatever, and all that about it, because I'm just hoping after the last one they did in the movie, in sense, this one will be better. Since it's through Netflix, I'm giving them benefit. They've shown that they know what they're doing and what they're putting out. So this one is Ghost in the Shell. You sure already know exactly why I said it like that. So you all remember the one that came out a couple of years ago in the movie starring Scarlett Johansson. Was not well received, and I can agree. I went to the theater. I was none too happy. The whitewash of it all, whichever. It was just done with no common sense in mind when they did that. Like, they think they were doing something right. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Scarlett Johansson, but it's sometimes you need to set aside, let the right people be cast, whatever, and just show. And that's not even to blame her. It's the people who decided to cast her. But I agree, she could step back, whatever. And you learn from this because you see what happened. Now they know. So now Netflix is coming on board to consider doing an actual series of the movie. So I'm looking forward to that. And from what they said, I want to note this. They discussed this recently in a release from discussion with that from Netflix. They say Ghost in the Shell is going to be reborn by changing itself into a new form. It's going to be a 3D CG. This time, Kinja Kamiyama and the production IG will build a tag with Shinji Aramaki and a Solo Digital Arts. It says, who had been brought Japanese 3D CG animation to the whole world by his pieces like Appleseed, the series. And it says it's a next generation animation film and the first Ghost in the Shell made by double directors. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I look forward to seeing when it finally is in the development, is happening, and they have an actual trailer for it. Netflix to make sure they're on point, because people are going to truly be watching it. Some people feel like they will not do it justice, and I'm hoping that Netflix being attached, they will do this justice. I give them faith, and I'm giving them the benefit because of what I've seen so far from them in the last couple of years, how they have expanded, how they have grown. A lot of people, I see other people who do reviews and trailers, and we all say the same things like, oh, I haven't finished this one. I know this one just came out on Netflix. I gotta, space out some time. We all have to space out time to watch some of these movies that they keep popping out, whatever, definitely doing the reactions or whatever we have to do to see these things and then upload these for you guys so you can get our point of view of anything, whatever, or just letting us know what you feel about it, in the comment section as well. So a lot goes into this. So that's why I say I give kudos to Netflix for coming so far compared to how it used to be, where you just go get the little movies, whatever, and you get the little thing, you send it back. Look how far they have come. Who knew? So yeah, I'm looking for this now. Ghost in the Shell, they're stating, doesn't have a premiere date, but they said they're looking at vying for a 2020 release. So I'm excited for that aspect of that. That gives them time to work on this, on that, like I said, that CG stuff, making sure it is on point. So yes, you guys, I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to my anime. Yes, Cowboy Bepob. and Ghost in the Shell. And I know they're going to have some competition, because I know Adult Swim is coming out with some stuff in regards to their anime. And also, what is it, Crunchy, I wanted to write that down, Crunchyroll as well. They're working on stuff that's pertaining to like things of like Blade Runner. I already know with anime, there's always going to be some sort of competition. So if they could do their thing, that would be nice. I know some other things Netflix is working on. They're claiming they're going to be working on, it's not anytime soon, the coming year or whatever, another one called Devil May Cry. Looking forward to that. And then also Neon Genesis Evangelion. So I'm looking forward to anything, like I said, anything, all things anime, and just discussing them in detail. So I'm excited. I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. Bring it to me. And I can watch these, because it's like certain ones on demand I can never seem to find. I'm probably going to have to go back to buying a lot of the ones that I love to watch, anyway, because I just can't seem to find them. Because sometimes I don't want to watch them. I'd rather watch some anime, whatever, and all that, when I'm just chilling and, laying down on my bed, whatever, we all do. So, but with the anime, you guys, comment below. Let me know which kind of anime you guys watch, if you all even watch any of them. I always like to know, to see the different, taste of people when it comes to anime just in general. So, but with that said, you guys, that is it for my movie news and a little bit of TV news on the side. So with that said, you guys, like I said, comment below on anything I discuss. I'd love to know your feedback, anything that you all looking forward to, you're hyped for as well. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next update. You guys take care.